So what I'd recommend to boost confidence, one of the key things is to change any limiting beliefs you might have. And what do I mean by that? Well, often what holds us back is our thoughts about what's going to happen, about our abilities, about what other things people might say or how they might react. And it's really important to start gaining beliefs that will allow you to move forward more confidently. So you might be wondering, how's that achieved then? Because those thoughts come, really very quickly. It's almost like we don't really think them, they just live there. So here's some ideas. One thing is to identify the belief that's holding you back. Maybe you're saying, I'm no good at presentation skills, or I always feel nervous at interviews, or I'll never have the partner of my dreams. Or maybe one that's really common is making mistakes is a bad thing. So once you've realized, oh yeah, I'm thinking that and it's holding me back, the next thing is to think about, well, what could I believe instead that would allow me to move forward? And so one belief might be, making mistakes is part of learning. It's an inevitable part of learning. And as long as I learn from my mistakes, everything will be fine. So then you might be thinking, oh, well, that's all very well, but people hate, they criticize me like crazy when I make mistakes. Well, they might do, but if they realize that actually you're learning from them and that will stop you doing that mistake again, then they may be more open to seeing the value of them. So you've got your negative limiting belief and you've got your new one. So just doing that doesn't quite make your brain start thinking differently. So the next thing you need to do is to find all the evidence that makes your first belief absolutely ridiculous, that making mistakes is a bad thing. Just think about it. When you learnt to walk, when you were, 2 years old, what did everybody do? They said, oh, you can do it. And if you fell over and you, on your backside, then they said, oh, you're doing so well, you get to get up you get. And that's the reason why everybody can walk, because we had so much encouragement. We were allowed to make mistakes, and making mistakes was part of us learning about balance. And if we hadn't done that, we'd probably all be shuffling around on our backsides. So, just think about that, how you learnt so quickly when you were younger because you allowed yourself to make mistakes, and then you just picked yourself up, dusted yourself off, and tried again and learnt from the fall. So that might be a way of then undermining that old belief of saying, well, actually, that's how I used to learn so well, is by making mistakes. And then you start to support the new belief about making mistakes as part of learning. And again, that experience perhaps could help you think in that way. And then the next thing you do is then, if you, probably that old belief, making mistakes is a terrible thing, goes through your mind in a very critical voice. So what you can do is think of a voice that if you heard it, you would laugh out loud, maybe a helium balloon voice or something like that, a Mickey Mouse voice. And just say that old belief in that Mickey Mouse voice and notice how much you laugh at it. And that's a really useful technique for changing your limiting beliefs. So whenever you find a thought that's holding you back, that's an exercise that you can do. So make that new belief a habit. So if you'd like to find out more about how you can boost your confidence, I'd like to offer you a free discovery session. It's confidential, it takes about 60 minutes, and we'll talk about where you are in your life, where you'd like to be, especially with your confidence, but your career, your relationships, all those sorts of things. We'll discover what are the hidden barriers that are preventing you having all the success that you want. And then I'll share with you some steps that you can take to build your confidence, and that you can book that through my website. I look forward to meeting you.